Hey yo guys, I'm back here to give you a pretty big video here, as tonight, Saturday, is one big ass night here in the world of combat sports. I mean, you got tonight's big super fight between Oscar De La Hoya and Manny Pacquiao. In the world of Mexico, you got three big shows of Lucha Libre professional wrestling. You got the Perros de Mal debut show with, the likes of Dr. Wagner Jr., El Hijo del Perro Aguayo, yeah, Cibernetico, and even a rumored the rumor of Rob Van Dam even possibly showing up. You also have AAA having their big show of the year down there, and CMLL's having a big show down there, which I think could be the best. And then I'll give you my TNA Final Resolution, the second Final Resolution of 2008 predictions. I guess we'll start off with, the big fight, the thing that's happening tonight, live from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's Manny Pacquiao versus Oscar De La Hoya. To me, this fight, it's more of a win-win for Pacquiao. I mean, it's a win-win for Golden Boy because it's going to rake in a lot of dollar. If you're just asking me personally, I mean, how can it not? I mean, you got the best fighter in the world now since Floyd Mayweather retired, taking on, one of the most, the biggest draw on pay-per-view as it is in Oscar De La Hoya, a guy who's been able to make you care about fights, and you add this one in that you have 24/7 behind it, which may be, the best 24/7 that they've done this year. Not of all time, obviously, but that they did this year. I mean, really, what else can you say? I mean, I think, personally to me, I don't know if De La Hoya's head is completely into this fight, as, he just knows that he's going to get a big paycheck from this, from HBO and from the pay-per-view buy rates, and, that promotion is going to do super well. I mean, I don't think he really cares. I mean, he only really has a massive cross advantage up against Pacquiao. And the height advantage. I think the height advantage here could play into a factor if he wants to, bully around Pacquiao around that ring. But to me, I still think Pacquiao will probably, I don't know, so some people he's going to shock the world by, as he's going up 2 weight classes. To me, I don't think it's really, much matter. I think, Pacquiao's an extremely good boxer. He's talented, and as I stated earlier, I mean, he's the best in the world as of right now since Floyd Mayweather retired. I mean, he's got amazing hand speed. He's got great footwork. I mean, Oscar does as well, but I would give the footwork advantage to Pacquiao. And, he has some pretty impressive power behind that. His punch, which I think, will eventually wear down Oscar. I think Oscar's, probably really want to use the height advantage as well as his cross, definitely. But to me, this fight has to be a Pacquiao fight. Or I believe Oscar's got, a better jab. I think that's his bread and butter punch. I believe the jab is his bread and butter punch. To me, that's where I'm going to go with this. But I'm going to have to make my prediction of Manny Pacquiao. I mean, how can you not? I think, like I said, I don't think Pacquiao's full head, or De La Hoya's full head is into this one. And I think Pacquiao's going to, get the victory. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what happens for Oscar if he knocks out Pacquiao? I mean, he knocked out a guy that's smaller than him and, normally fights 2 weight classes below him. I mean, it's all win-win for Pacquiao, but big prediction, Manny Pacquiao. We'll move over now to the world of total non-stop action wrestling as they present their final pay-per-view of 2008, which is the same title as the one that started 2008, TNA's Final Resolution. In all honesty, do you care? I mean, I know I'm a fan, a general fan. I'm putting $30 down because there's a poor economy. There's this massive De La Hoya Pacquiao fight. I don't really need to put $30 down on this pay-per-view. I mean, what is there to intrigue you? The Final Impact absolutely buried the Feast or Fire match when Chris Sabin. It's guys in tights fighting over boxes. You built to 2 matches that you're gonna save for your Charlotte pay-per-view with obviously Jarrett and Angle and referee Shane Sewell and Sheikh Abdul Bashir for the X-Division title. Really, what is there to be excited about? Especially the main event, which is absolutely fucking retarded. I'll tell you that right now. It's the Frontline versus the main event Mafia, and if anyone on the Frontline pins anyone on the main event Mafia, AJ Styles is champion. To me, I guess that could build into something interesting, where I guess Joe turns heel and joins the main event Mafia. But I don't know. I mean, to me, if I'm a promoter and I'm starting a promotion, never have this type of feud of old versus new. Never do it. It never works. The guys you want to cheer for, you're supposed to be cheering for, you don't ever happen. Don't do this again. But anyway, let's run through the card here, and I will give you my predictions. We always go bottom to top. Let's start with this match. The Beautiful People and Sharmell versus ODB, Taylor Wilde, and Roxxi. The match, with the exception of Sharmell, it's not going to be that bad. I mean, as ODB and Roxxi will carry the load for the baby faces. And you know what? The Beautiful People put on a subpar decent match. I'm not worried about this, with the exception of Sharmell, but what do you do here? You gotta go prediction. I'm gonna go with the baby faces, just so you can have Sharmell, you know, continue to get mad at the Beautiful People and saying, well, you didn't do your job and whatnot. Who really cares? I mean, Jesus Christ. That's my prediction. And it's a shame that, you know, the Beautiful People would get treated that happens, as to me they're, you know, the second best thing in the knockout division as a whole. Anyways, we move over to Feast or Fired with all the talent who shouldn't be in this match. Anyone who is in this match should be in a tag title match, an X-Division match, and technically a TNA Heavyweight Championship match. But you know what? This is TNA, and they don't know what they have there. Basically, you got the Guns, LAX, Rockin' Rafe, Confusion, Jay Lethal, Petey Williams, Sanjay Dutt, Consequences Creed, BG James, Cute Kip, Curry Man, and Shark Boy. Really, how do you see this one going? Well, I mean, we all know there's 4 briefcases. You get a TNA World Heavyweight title shot, you get a X-Division, you get a tag title, and one of you gets fired. Personally, if I'm TNA, I don't know why we're doing this. I mean, deal is not popular anymore. I mean, fuck, it's a half an hour show now on television. I don't know why they're still doing this. I mean, that was the whole purpose of this. Really, to me, the person who gets fired, and I can so see them doing this, is Curry Man, so Christopher Daniels can come back. And if they keep having this match, it'll probably be alternated. I swear to God, that'll be a yearly thing of Christopher Daniels being fired and Curry Man being fired. But the guy I'd probably want to see them fire and, you know, him actually leave the company would be Cute Kip, just because he's awful. But there's 2 people who I think for sure will are potentially the closest ones. It'll probably be Curry Man getting fired. That's my main prediction, but other than that, it'll be BG James, as he's actually a road agent, and they can just write him off of TV forever. But then again, when the hell has he been on TV last? October? I guess to get the tag title shots, because, you know, they're kind of a heel tag team now, and it would be kind of interesting, but I don't think they'll get... whatever. You know what? They'll probably give LAX the tag title shots just because they got a rough cut, and, you know, we haven't seen Beer Money versus LAX, and that's obviously me being sarcastic. Who else? To probably get the X-Division title shot, it would be Consequences Creed. Like, that'll probably be that, and they always just wait forever. To get the world title shot, I don't know. I really don't. Who else is in here who could potentially get a world... Probably Jay Lethal, just so he can have another TV match with Sting or Angle at the time. That's how I see this one going down. And like I said, I think Curry Man will be fired. Then we move over here to the TNA Knockout Championship match. It'll be Awesome Kong versus Christy Hemme. Only problem I have had with this is, why are we making Christy Hemme act? The bitch cannot act. She is awful at acting. She overacted. If you remember back when she was feuding with VKM, and she absolutely overacted everything early last year, it was awful. And the same thing is here. I mean, at least they've tried to build her up with having training with AJ Styles, and that she actually, her and AJ versus Scott Steiner and Awesome Kong on Impact wasn't that bad. I thought they did a good job building that match at least. How I see this one is, Kong will go out there and make Christy look like $1,000,000. That's the whole thing here, how I see it happening, but that's just, let's say, oh, Christy's improved a lot, the time with AJ's done her good, and that's where we that, and, Kong gets an awesome bomb and wins, and eventually, down the line, maybe at Charlotte we have a rematch, and then Christy wins. Yeah, Christy can be your knockout champion, but that'll probably be there, and you don't want to, I don't think they'll change titles now, as I think it would be pointless, as, Kong just became champion. To me, it just seems like she just became champion, and she should still be champion going out of this pay-per-view, but I think that's how they'll build it, and if they do it, that'll be the smart way, but then again, this is TNA, and they don't know the meaning of smart. Then we move over to the X-Division Championship match, Shiekd Abdul Bashir versus Eric Young. To me, really, the Shiekd Abdul Bashir character has absolutely bored me as of late. I mean, it's a good thing they've toned down the ridiculous racism and uncalled for stuff, like with the planes crashing in his theme song and all that other stuff, but still, I'm bored by this character. Just let's have this match with Shane Sewell, because let's just get it over with. This feud has been dragging on forever, if you can even really call it a feud. Eric Young, he wins the belt, and they have to take it away because Shane Sewell cost him it, whatever. Only positive is, this match won't be as bad as Shiekd Abdul Bashir's last match, because there's damn sure not going to be no Scott Hall and Insane Clown Posse running down there, doing whatever they want, and, distracting, taking away from the match. But then again, it was a match with Rhino, so who cared? That also helps a lot. Really, Eric Young, he's not that bad. I'm not the biggest fan of Eric Young, but still, I appreciate, he's a pretty decent in-ring worker. I don't see him getting the win here. It'll be a pro Eric Young crowd, as, it's in the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida. Guys say Bashir gets the win. We go to Charlotte and finish this feud with him and referee Shane Sewell. Then we move over to the TNA Tag Team Championship. Beer Money Incorporated defends against Abyss and Matt Morgan. And could Abyss's character have been any more shot than what happened on Impact? I mean, Jesus Christ. They get him drunk, and then they hit him and beat him down. I mean, no one cares about Abyss anymore. Abyss is honestly the best soldiers that this company has, and they just treat him like crap. They put him through fire. They make him do every hardcore match you can possibly imagine, where, a hardcore match in that company doesn't even seem special. And then, you made him talk and become, this man cane, and no one cares about Abyss, when Abyss is actually, one of the most talented guys and can put on a good match. As he showed with Kurt Angle at the last pay-per-view, he can be in a match. Really, you don't change the belts here. Beer Money retains, as they're probably the best thing in this company as of late. Beer Money retains. I mean, then you just probably after this have, Morgan get mad and officially turn heel. As you can tell, he doesn't really want to be Abyss's partner. Turns heel, and then we get a match for the January pay-per-view of Abyss versus Matt Morgan. Then we move over to the next match, which is Rhino versus Kurt Angle, with Mick Foley as the special enforcer, and if Rhino wins, Angle's gone from TNA forever, and if Angle wins, he gets that match with Jeff Jarrett. Well, if you saw the way Impact basically, the main promo of the show was Angle versus Jarrett. This is not on the pay-per-view, but let's just hype it up and spoil the whole point of having this match. Yeah, TNA. Really, as much as I crap on Rhino, he's a guy who deserves to be in an prominent feud, and at least he's in here now, but really, it's all for naught, as he's clearly gonna be back on the mid-card before you know it after this. I don't see him being the voice of the Frontline anymore, as you have Team 3D, who can do a pretty good job on the promo stick there. Really, clearly it's Angle winning. See how it can be. And apparently there's going to be Angle's, you have to check to see who it's going to be, Angle's special guy. Well, it was supposed to be Frank Trigg, but there's a scheduling conflict. So it's going to be a former tag team champion, a world champion, a former tag team champion of Mick Foley, and a former world champion, etc. So that leaves you Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Mikey Whipwreck, and Terry Funk. Well, obviously it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, as he's under a WWE contract for life. The Rock's off making movies, so the two big people really, to the most audience that watches this product, you're not going to see him. it comes down to Terry Funk and Mikey Whipwreck. And to me, I think it'll be Terry Funk, as, you know, they need to have some surprise there. But in all honesty, if it's Mikey Whipwreck, no one is gonna care, and people are gonna be like, who the hell is this guy? No one's gonna remember when him and Cactus Jack and Mikey Whipwreck were ECW Tag Team Champions. No one is gonna remember that. This is honestly will be the most biggest bust on pay-per-view. May God help us all if it's Mikey Whipwreck. Hopefully it's Terry Funk to actually salvage some credibility after this awful text message thing. TNA always has a problem where they always put guys who obviously is not going to show up. Like, do you remember who's going to be, you know, when they had Lesnar and Goldberg? Yeah, sure. Awful here, and clearly the match goes to Angle. I don't see any way this cannot. Like, why? Storyline-wise, it wouldn't make sense. Why would they want their best wrestler and the best acquisition they've ever had in this company out of the company? Like, does that make any sense whatsoever? Please, someone who is a fan of TNA, comment or send me a message. How does that make sense? I don't care, really. Angle wins, we go with Jarrett and Angle and Charlotte. And then the main event. If you think that this pay-per-view could have lost any sense of credibility, we get there. It's the Frontline, the main event Mafia. If any one of the main event Mafia is pinned, AJ Styles is champion. Not just, you know, the guy who pinned that person is champion. No, AJ Styles is champion. Really, by the way, they're going from TV. It looks like Sting is about to turn babyface again, which, why? You've actually made Sting interesting, and, you know, clearly he doesn't want to be heel, so I guess that's why they have to do it. But still, Sting has been interesting for the first time in however many years. Since, you know, I would say about, well, actually I shouldn't say that. Probably since the start of this Sting feud before, you know, they overbooked that shit. Then, you know, I personally, the way I see it, as I said earlier, you have Joe get mad, that's, you know, Styles gets to be champion, and you know how I honestly do see a title change, because when the last time, Sting doesn't lose the belt really clean at all. I mean, do you recall when he lost the belt on a DQ to Abyss? That he lost the belt, you know, on Impact over some screwiness, and Angle became champion. Still, I mean, that's how Sting's title reigns run in this company. He drops the belt to Styles, and then, you know, Joe costs Styles the belt and turns heel. Probably on Impact. I wouldn't say straight away, but that happens, and Angle is champion, and finally we have Angle be champion and be the leader of this group, and it makes sense. Anyways, that's on this card. Really awful pay-per-view. Do not spend money on this pay-per-view. Just wait for the people to review it, because you need to save your money for Christmas or wherever you want to do for the holidays. Tough economy. There's a super fight. This pay-per-view is not worth $30. Nothing of this nature is worth $30. This thing is worth maybe 30 cents. How about that? 30 cents for this pay-per-view. May help us. I don't care about this pay-per-view. I'm going to now talk about, you know, some Lucha stuff here. I know most people don't care about Lucha Libre, but, you know, we got to broaden this community, as, you know, we can't just be WWE and TNA all the time and Ring of Honor. We got to broaden this. Massive international scene. Anyways, big show. Really, to me, there's, you know, the important show is the Perros. Let's see how this thing goes. I don't think it's gonna be as successful as most people do. Because one, we don't even know if they have TV. Two, the main event on the side of Dr. Wagner Jr., he doesn't have two partners. No, he doesn't. He does not have two partners. The other partner, I believe, was supposed to be Dos Caras Jr. He had to get, you know, pulled to do some commitments with CMLL before the WWE. And the other partner, well, they just pulled him as well. So, one of the rumored partners is Rob Van Dam. To me, it wouldn't surprise me, as, you know, Rob Van Dam, you know, his last major performance was in the Inoki Genome Federation, competing in a triple threat match with the Necro Butcher and some Puro guy who I can't remember his name at the moment. But still, I think this show, it depends. It's more, to me, going to be, you know, I think they'll do a couple indie shows, but I don't think it'll last that long, as they don't have TV. Same problems that NWA Mexico's having. They don't really have TV, so you can't get anyone to really care about the product. That's a major thing. With AAA, they've actually, you know, their whole future of how this program is going with Conan as, you know, the leader of the company depends on, and his match with the Latin Lover really depends there. I think, you know, the cage match with the Minis doesn't do that much for me. Really, the other thing is the Super Mega Championship. That's an important situation there to see where we go for that. CMLL to me is going to be the best show, as you got Hector Garza and Místico defending. CMLL Campeones de Parejas up against Averno and Mephisto. Really, I think you got to make, you know, let's elevate some new stars. The best workers to me in CMLL, with the exception of Místico and Hector Garza, are Averno, Mephisto, and Efisto, as these guys bust their ass every night, and, you know, they make the CMLL promotion very interesting. You know, definitely see a title change here, as you can have Místico and a array of partners up against Averno and Mephisto. You also can, you know, build it up, and CML can then build it up and say when, you know, Averno and Místico go over to New Japan, that for the Dome show, you know, that this feud continues worldwide, etc. Also, you have to look at, you have 4 great workers. Averno and Místico put on a great singles match back in 2006. Nothing, like, this can't go wrong. To me, this is going to be your better show. You've also got, you know, a Blue Panther situation. You've got, you know, the NWA Welterweight Championship on the line. Going to be a good set of cards. I mean, it's a big, important weekend there in Mexico. Also, you have IWRG, one of the bigger independent promotions there in Mexico, running their anniversary show. It's just a big weekend there. We also had K1 night at 3 a.m. Haven't really got to see all of it, as, you know, I have it DVR'd. But anyways, I guess that's it for me. I'm out. Peace.